Hello, it's Holly with Ivy Cool Creations, and today is Etch A Sketch Day 23. This sketch calls for 2 photos and hexagons. What I did was turn it into a pocket page. So I have a bunch of Halloween photos and I have a bunch of scraps. So I created a pocket page with a bunch of scrap hexagons. So for my pocket pages, they come from the dollar store, and so they're not always equal. So I usually cut them into the strips first, and then I cut them into the height of the pockets themselves, just to get the sizing a little bit more accurate. The middle pockets always seem to be skinnier than the end pockets, and so it takes a bit to get the right sizing when creating the pockets. But what I did was I created the pockets, decided which photos go where, I matted my photos, and then I got to creating the hexagons. So I really am in love with the way that this one turned out because it was so easy and simple, and especially since I have so many pictures, it wasn't anything that I did wasn't going to show up very well, just because of the photos, but I wanted to get a bit more color in these little mini layouts. I punched all of the hexagons that I wanted and then decided to mat my photos in white so they could stand out a bit more on this very dark paper that I used. And the paper just says Halloween, trick-or-treat, fall, things like that on it in a repetitive pattern. And I just went through the hexagons and kind of decided where they would go based on how much space I had around the photos, because I didn't want it to be so that you couldn't see it at all. I wasn't trying to hide the hexagons. I actually wanted them to show up. And so I didn't put them all behind the photos. I just tried to create kind of like a waterfall effect coming down the page from the top right to the bottom left. And I laid out a bunch of the hexagons before I started taping them down, just so that I knew roughly where things were going to go. I had this sticker or ephemera piece that said trick or treat, and I used that as the title. I just stuck it on the bottom of one of the pockets at the top, just where there was some empty space, and unfortunately I ended up covering up a bunch of the hexagons, but I still like the way that it looks. I used the hexagons to stick 2 pieces together so that I didn't have to use tiny pieces to kind of fill in gaps. It was easier to just cut the 2 apart than to try and tape them onto either side. And with all the photos on, you can't really tell that there's a bunch of hexagons in the layout itself, but I know that they're there, so I like that that they've made their way on the page, I guess. While you take a look at the close-ups, please don't forget to check out the description box below for all the information on Redefined Kreative and the Etch A Sketch series. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. The still shots and close-ups will be up in a moment, and I truly appreciate any comment that you leave. I do reply to everyone, so please like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to hear from you.